I'm the host, correct? I'm in charge. I'm the captain of this ship. I'm steering that boat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, my champions. You guys will be the deciding factor on who is the winner of this episode and the topic of the day. How are you guys?
Are you just not gonna say the name of the podcast? Like nothing?
No, this has already started chaotic as it has been.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm good.
I mean, it's also
I'll kick.
plastered right behind you too.
I'll kick off the small talk for our podcast today for all the people listening and watching at home.
At the
Good.
Nerdgazmic Goodfellas, you see that segue? That was professionally done.
Very professionally done. We got the banner for the podcast plastered behind me.
Beautiful.
Who needs to promote what we are?
Nah, they're already here. They already know what we are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good.
Where am I?
I'm excited for the
Who
weekend.
is this?
I don't know why this has felt like a very long week for me.
Right. I don't know what's going on. The stars are not aligned, or the moon is too far away from the Earth.
I have been so unbelievably tired this entire week. We are in the final few weeks of work for me before I have like a small vacation. But I am working during the summer break, so my vacation's reduced by a couple weeks because I'll be doing the summer schooling.
Nice.
Me, Chris, and John went and saw Thunderbolts today.
How was that? I heard it was pretty fire.
My humble opinion is I absolutely agree with critics saying that this has been probably the best movie since Endgame.
Since Shang-Chi, I will stand by that.
Since Shang-Chi. Because Shang-Chi is like one of the good ones.
Shang-Chi was fucking fire, dude.
It was, dude.
It's how they started the phase off so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just downhill.
Because it was a really good way of them introducing a new character that's going to be in the new rotation, and it didn't feel like a Marvel movie until the very end when they were like, "Hey, welcome to the Avengers Initiative." And it was like when they brought.
That's why I'm kind of saying since Endgame, because all the characters in Thunderbolt was pre-established. The only new character is the main villain.
I haven't seen it. I know I've seen the dad from Black Widow. Bucky's obviously in it, and then who else is in it? There's two other, right?
John Walker, Ghost, Taskmaster.
Taskmaster?
From the Black Widow movie.
Right. That's weird that they brought Taskmaster in.
Mm-hmm. She has such a huge role in the film too. Like 90% of the film's carried on her back.
See? Sorry, I had to get that out.
Yeah.
I got it out.
Other than that, I'm good. I've been playing the living shit out of Doom 2016 because Doom: The Dark Ages dropped today as of recording.
As of today, if you want to date when this episode was recorded.
So I'm trying to beat Doom 2016 so I could start Doom: The Dark Ages since it's a prequel to 2016's Doom.
Have you played Eternal at all?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on Eternal? Because I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on it. After 2016.
I have absolutely loved the Bethesda Doom games. I think Bethesda and id make a good partnership between Doom and Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. God, Jesus.
Bless you.
Thank you. Wolfenstein is just peak anyway. Wolfenstein, I played through them recently, and Wolfenstein is just. But the Doom games, I know, like I got a little. I don't know why I got hate. I feel like I got a lot of people saying, saw a lot of people going, Doom 16 is better. But Eternal was fucking amazing. I don't know what they were talking about.
I liked the Eternal because it was bigger in scope. It had bigger levels, plot points, and I liked the multiplayer and customizational features a lot better.
And there's new mechanics in it that made it a lot better, like being able to grapple hook was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I feel like everybody favors Wolfenstein. And I know this is gonna be a controversial opinion for you, Chris, but any game in which you could kill Nazis is just immediately great.
Despite what Kanye says.
Or Chris.
Why me? What?
Hold on, there's some accusations going on here.
What the frick, man?
That's why he's not showing his face.
Sorry, I got a really big tattoo on my head, man. I'm just trying to hide it.
You know that movie Inglorious Bastards?
Got a big old scar on his forehead.
Chris was meant to be a stunt double, and they accidentally really carved the swastika into his
Yeah,
forehead.
Brad Pitt got a little overzealous with the knife.
It was an honor.
Wait, what? Hold up.
Oh, no, because it was Brad Pitt, you know.
Oh, okay.
So I
You can never take. You can't take off this this uniform, can you? How about you, Chris? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I had today and yesterday off, so
Nice.
it was a very nice, relaxing few days. Recuperated. I'm ready for work tomorrow, so yay.
Dope.
You know, still can't talk to women. It's really hard for me.
Dope.
Yeah, man. I'm just chilling, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Live your life, man. It comes.
Oh, chaw, dude.
Chaw, dude. Be with the
It
boys.
doesn't come for Chris.
I come for tip.
I'm sure he finds a way.
Like Jurassic World.
Life will find a way.
How are you, Brad?
I'm living life. You know how my day was today? I worked in a hot ass warehouse all day long. I rode in a car that has no AC. So I was in a hot car all the way home. And then I got home to a house that the AC is busted and won't be fixed till Monday. So I have been sitting in constant 80 plus degree weather with like 80% humidity all day long. So I've been pretty good.
Yeah, seems like it, man.
I've been pretty good.
For sure. For sure.
And like I told you guys, pre-podcast start, tomorrow we're expected to have possibly softball-sized hail tomorrow. So I'm preparing for that mentally. Yeah. But other than that, I'm hanging out with the boys, so I'm good.
Hells yeah, brother.
I'm honestly, I have the mentality of a lab. I'm in the now. So 5 seconds from now, I'm going to totally forget about any of that. And we're going to be good.
Squirrel.
I have the mentality of an English bulldog that's been hit by 2 semis, but it's like still alive.
You gotta snore a little bit. Yeah.
Sounds like my boy.
I'm also enjoying some Mike and Ike's right now that I pulled out of my pocket.
I still stand by his gross ass candy.
I fucking love gummy candy.
I just don't do candy, honestly. I barely do chocolate.
What were those the candy bars I got with you, Chris, that I'm a really big fan of? Hunks?
Oh, yeah, big hunk.
It's my shit right there.
All right, this is gonna make me sound like I'm 80 years old. Favorite candy bar, Payday bar, or Heath bar?
Yeah, man.
Yay!
That's a good choice. I love paydays. They have a chocolate covered payday, man. And I think that was like the finished product right there, man. I was like, fuck yes.
They perfected it like that.
It was so good.
I have coworkers that are 21 to 22, and they give me so much shit because I'm the only one that buys the payday bars at my work. They have a convenience section, and I'm the only one that keeps them in business.
I'll like go to the store. I'll be like, "Hey, Grandma, you want anything from the store?" And she asks me for this like candy that was like discontinued in like the 1990s.
Oh my god! But they were so good.
They were, and she's like trying to explain it to me. She's like, they're like these Butterfingers without the chocolate, and they're like individually wrapped, and they have like stripes on the packaging. And I'm like, I don't I don't know. Like, I do not know, man. Where she's like, can I get some like Red Hots? Oh my god, from this century, please.
You know, I always got that thing on me.
Oh yeah.
Hey, don't fuck with the Red Hots, man. I love Red Hots.
So Stephanie, my wife, loves Red Hots, and I buy them for her all the time. But I don't fuck with cinnamon, honestly.
I love me some cinnamon.
I love cinnamon itself, but I hate cinnamon flavored stuff. It just doesn't taste like.
Well, I have a bottle of Fireball right next to me.
I was just about to say Fireball was like one of those few alcoholic drinks that I just, whenever it was there, I would just drink up.
It's so nasty.
Like
it's like water. It's so nasty. I can't fuck with it. It's too sweet.
Remember when that theory was going, or that rumor was going around, people saying that antifreeze was in Fireball?
I was drinking it even more.
Brah, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, right?
Exactly. Wubba dubba lub lub.
Wubba dubba dub dub. All right, are we ready to get to the topic?
Oh yeah, I've been ready. You're in charge, Brian. You're directing.
Hey, we've just been chatting. This is good shit right now. All
right,
so
I get to sit back and I'm not in the driver's chair, so I'm enjoying it.
Our topic for today is adaptations from video games and media, whether it's books, comic books, movies, anime, or any, I guess, cartoons. They have cartoons, right, of video games.
Mortal Kombat was a cartoon series before it was ever a movie.
That's true. Because that also is the very bendy definition of anime, because some people say like Invincible is an anime because it's not made in Japan.
I do think traditional anime would be considered like Japanese art.
Which is fair, because, dude, believe it or not, there was a Dragon Age anime or animation.
Anime is just the shorter version of saying animation, I believe. Like, I don't think anime has any actual.
But then how far do you go? Do you say SpongeBob is anime because it's animation?
They also have anime SpongeBob.
Of course they do.
You're fucking lying. You're fucking lying. Oh, hell no. There ain't no way.
Motherfucking Google it.
All right. But go ahead and talk about anything that you've seen in media that you like that's other than video games, is inspired by video games.
So just to be clear here, it has to be a video game before it was anything else. So stuff like The Witcher is disqualified from this.
Well,
because The Witcher was a book series originally.
That is true, but I know they have revised versions of the Witcher books, don't they? No, I guess they're not revised because they're still the original versions. Because I have.
So the games take place after the book series.
True.
But there is now going to be a new Witcher book series that takes place during the games. But those books have yet to come out. So in technicality, Witcher is disqualified. If we're making ground rules here.
But it also does qualify because there are stuff that has come after the games, though.
Yes, but the TV show is not adapted from the games; it's adapted from the books.
Are you talking about the one that's about Vesemir that's on Netflix?
Yes, which is also.
I actually did not know that. I thought that was just a standalone original.
Nope.
Hold up. SpongeBob SquarePants anime made in 2020. I thought that shit was just some little short that I saw on Facebook. This is an actual show?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had no idea if it was a real thing.
I just looked it up, dude.
I was
season 1.
Outrageous.
Season 1, episode 1, called Bubble Bass Arc.
I was talking out my ass on that, just hoping you wouldn't call me out.
It's on IMDb. It has an 8.1 star rating on IMDb.
I doubled down on that shit too. I was like, Google it, motherfucker.
Oh my God. I can't. That fucking animation style is whack, dude.
Okay, does it have like traditional anime animation style, or is it just?
It's probably from whatever video you've seen of the intro. This is the summary. Relentlessly hardworking SpongeBob SquarePants lives in an undersea township of Bikini Bottom. Among him is his friends Patrick, Squidward, and Sandy. SpongeBob is employed as a fry cook at the local burger place, the Krusty Krab, which is operated by a crustacean named Mr. Krabs. But recently, new groups of evil have emerged, all trying to steal the secret formula. From Goo Lagoon to Jellyfish Fields, watch SpongeBob, Squidward, and Sandy battle it out in a bid for peace at the Krusty Krab and in Bikini Bottom.
That's fucking wild, dude. That's fucking wild, bro.
I love it.
Oh, that is insane.
So, Chris, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I don't really have anything specific to talk about. I guess I'm just kind of start off with some movies that were made from video games that I enjoyed pretty much. It was an all right movie. It was kind of slow at points, but the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, right. I was really hyped for that movie. I was so hyped for that because I love the Uncharted games. Those are so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second one might be my favorite story wise. I played the shit out of the third one because it had like an online mode, which was pretty fun. The fourth one was so good though. That one.
Oh yeah, the fourth one was so just good. Perfect.
So that leads me to ask you, because I've only played the first Uncharted game, and I never beat it. But I know that the movie was not adapted. I grew up Xbox. Like I've recently gotten PlayStation over the last couple of years. So Uncharted is on the list of stuff I want to play. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay, then I won't bring out any big spoilers, but
I've been on the internet, so I know a lot that happens. But my question is oriented towards, with the Uncharted movie, I knew the movie told the story kind of its own.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel with video game adaptations and the way we're going? We'll stick with live action. Do you think that they should be representative of the source media? Like it should be a retelling of the game. So like, for instance, should the first Uncharted movie been a live action retelling of the first game?
Yes, 1,000,000%. Okay, it would have been nice if they did an original. Okay, this was the problem. They should have done an original story that had nothing to do with the games. No references, no nothing. And which they kind of did, but they didn't. There were some new things that happened in the movie, but there were so many events in the movie that were from the game. Like the plane scene.
Yeah, that was how
plane scene was from the third game.
Was it the third, or was it
the third? It was in the
third.
third.
Yeah, because the second one starts with the train, isn't it?
Yeah,
like the train cars. Because I've played the intro to 2.
So I'm sure it's been so long since I've seen the movie, but I know there were so many moments when I watched it that I was like, that was from this game. That was from this game. That was from this game. Yeah, they tried to take all 3 games and mush it into one, so it made the pacing really bad.
And it was like the telling of him becoming Nathan Drake.
Yes.
Because by the end of the movie, Tom Holland's Nathan Drake has the outfit, the ring, the whole.
Because it shows, and they kind of didn't they show how he met Sully?
Yeah.
Which in the 4th game it shows how he met Sully when he was. I mean that's kind of spoilers, but it shows how he met Sully in the 4th game, which is not even how they did it in the movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't fit with the source material at all. And it's like they took all 4 games and mushed it into one. So what I think they should have done was make an original prequel story and then carried on from that and made a trilogy of like remaking the games from start to finish of the games.
Damn.
And everybody would have fucking loved it.
That would have been dope.
So you're saying with like live action, because I think The Last of Us, the TV series for Last of Us, does this perfectly,
where they are taking the game and they're sticking very faithful to the game source material, but they change minute details to make it have a more continuity sense. Like, for instance, the cordyceps not spreading through spores,
which I think that was a cool idea. That
was a very cool idea. Expanding on certain characters like Bill.
Oh God, yeah.
Which you would have only known like that stuff about Bill if you were picking up all of the collectibles.
Yes.
So I do think that episode with Bill was one of the best episodes of season 1.
It threw me for a loop on how good it was, because I didn't expect it to last the whole episode, but I was pleasantly surprised. I fucking teared up. I did.
Yeah. I teared up. I thought that was one of what's his name? The actor that played Bill, Ron Swartzen.
That's the character he plays in Parks and
Recreation. Every time I see him, I see him referred to as him.
As Ron Swanson. Oh my God, what is his name?
I can't remember his name. But it's like that was one of the best performances I've seen by him.
Nick Offerman. No, I actually never watched that episode because I lost my HBO Max. But it.
Oh, you never watched that episode specifically?
Okay, calm down. All right, I was borrowing someone's HBO Max so I could watch through the Game of Thrones spinoff show, and then when I finished it, I lost my HBO Max.
Dude, I'll give you my HBO so you can watch it. I got
no shot. No, I was using my coworker's HBO Max.
Yeah, but I thought I already gave you my HBO like last week after we ended the podcast last week. No?
Oh. Maybe we talked about it, but I don't think I got it. But I would definitely give it a try. My problem is Bella Ramsey. And
I think she's great as Ellie.
Not for the second season. Okay.
Oh, you know what? Yes, you know what? And I've been trying so hard. I've been trying so hard to like work with her, and
I'm gonna be a dad.
I think this last episode was that nail in the coffin for me to believe that she is a good Ellie. I'm sorry, but the scene with her and Nora.
Just her and Nora, though. Okay, the thing is that how am I supposed to believe that's Ellie, though? How am I supposed to see her with Ellie's intensity? So, all right, they already changed the whole okay, I'm not gonna even say the whole I'm gonna be a dad part. I'm not even talking about that. They changed the intensity from the game of Ellie finding out Dina's pregnant and going, fuck, you're gonna be a burden on me now, to her going, oh my God, we're gonna have a family. Like,
have you not seen the newest episode then? Because they bring that dynamic in the newest episode.
Oh, do they really?
They do, yeah.
I've seen her beating Nora up real quick.
She starts having her doubts about bringing Dina, and about like there is the whole contemplation. There is a scene in there where instead of worrying about Dina's safety, she goes after the revenge. She makes the choice. And then that's what I'm talking about with the scene with Nora. She gets her shot at Nora and she takes it. And then she brings that like pure, unbridled rage that Ellie had in that scene in the game into the live action.
To beating Nora, but my problem is, does she have that intensity with everybody else? Like, is she just going full Rambo against people? My problem is
she brings it against Jesse. She brings it against Dina.
No, I mean like against other people. Is she like full on going through and just murking folks?
Well, this show's not trying to have like a kill list of everybody just being relentlessly killed, because you got to think the difference. That's what I wanted, though. The difference between the game and the TV series is, with the game, you have to have the killing. You have to have that engagement of fighting waves of enemies to engage you through the story. Because you're not gonna. How would you feel if you're walking through The Last of Us as a game and all you're hitting is the narrative points? You're gonna need that action to fill in the subplots as you're progressing through the city. Whereas in the TV show, they're able to do, like, you see them entering Seattle. The next thing you know, they're at the music store. You're not caring how they're getting point A to point B because it's already bringing you the story. So you don't have to see the relentless murder and carnage. Yes, there is a point where she's fighting the wolves and she's like taking them out, killing them. She's fighting them, but it is not the main subpoint of her just relentlessly murdering all these people. They talk about it. There's a scene in the new episode where Dina and her talk about what they're going to do if, like, they see just people that aren't Abby and the crew that killed Joel. And they say, we're going to just kill them all. Anybody we come across, we will kill.
I feel like it would be more impactful, though, if they did have a lot of that, though, because that's what was so impactful for the game for me and personally was that Ellie was on such a revenge path that she was just going to kill anybody that came across her. That, like, you just, in the most brutal ways sometimes, she just was killing everybody. And then by the time you got to the end of the game, that's what made it so impactful, that she was just
that's
so brutal about everything.
That's the slow buildup, because this season has 2 episodes left. And we're only at the part where she killed Nora.
Right. They're definitely stretching it multiple seasons after
they have a huge chunk of shit they have to get through. So this whole first section has been that emotional entanglement of her setting out on the journey, finding out that, like, her relationship is going to happen, so she's happy. She's having a life outside of this revenge. It's dawning on her that now she's putting that happiness at jeopardy by seeking the revenge. Things are not going her way, so now she's frustrated because now Dina, who she brought along, that was supposed to be help during this, is now going to be a hindrance. It's going to be an uncalculated risk. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
So it seems like they're doing more of a slow burn with it than it did with the game.
It's not a slow burn. It's more of an attention to detail for the narrative standpoint. The game was also rushed through, so there was sections of the game they had to cut out, like Ellie's PTSD and other things that they can now take the time to actually showcase. Just like in this new episode, there is a part where a certain character comes in, but that character to Ellie, when she is in this desperate need of help, looks like Joel. So we're seeing her go through PTSD, and you know how it kind of just time jumped to her losing her mind and just abandoning her family midway through the game for the final act. Mm-hmm. We are seeing those seeds being planted in the early parts of this season with it all. So they are able to tell that story through a narrative standpoint that they couldn't do through a time crunch in the game. So I think as the seasons go by and it builds, I do think Bella Ramsey will make a perfect Ellie. And yeah, I know everybody says she looks nothing like the game version of Ellie, but she looks like Ashley Johnson, who in the TV series played Ellie's mother. And I think that is a very important standpoint that, yeah, she looks like Ashley Johnson.
My only problem is that it's not the fact that she doesn't look like Ellie, which if the makeup team just put a little more effort, I've seen the edits where if they changed her hair and they did a little bit more, they could have made her look more like the video game Ellie. It's the fact that she looks like a 14-year-old kid still when Ellie's supposed to be 18, 19 years old, and she just doesn't look like an adult. It looks like a little kid going on a rampage to me, honestly.
But she's an adult in real life.
Yeah, but she doesn't look it. I mean, honestly, if fucking Mini-Man went on a rampage, I wouldn't be scared of him either. Or Mini-Me, I mean. I don't know. I feel like they should look the part, honestly. If they're gonna do time jumps, especially, they should look. She looks exactly like she did in the first season. So that's what's kind of been the hard part for me.
Especially with knowing how people are.
She looks older to me, and that's not me trying to be biased on it, because I just finished season 1 before season 2 started. So I have that kind of comparative, like I've freshly seen the difference. She does look older. Not by much. I do think she looks young, But they also made in the game Ellie look a lot more burly and everything too. Like she had exasperated features that did not match with her younger version self.
Right, and it's because she's been living in a wasteland. I mean, they've been going on patrols fighting undead for a long time. So,
and I feel like that is this kind of stark difference between the TV series and the game. The community in the TV series seemed more well off than what it was in the game.
Which I guess like, you could write off.
Jacksonville was Jacksonville in each form of the media, but Jacksonville absolutely looked better off in the TV series because they had electricity, they had running water. Whereas I feel like in the game, if I remember right, and I could be wrong, it's been a few years since I played the game, but like they still had people sitting outside with barrels full of like garbage and wood for heat. Like electricity was still a slight issue where they were having to be
I think they had generators,
conservative.
But I think, right. They had some areas that had, like when they're in the bar, they still had electricity in there and whatnot. But I think you're right. They still had some areas that weren't focused on. I think what it is when TV shows like this play with people's nostalgia and they change things too much, or they don't focus on doing things in a certain way, that's when it becomes a problem for fans. That's why it's gotten so much backlash, is because yes, Ellie doesn't look right. She looks like a kid. So when people that have played the games
the same thing
and are
for Joel though, because
Pedro
like
Pascal
as much as I love Pedro Pascal and I think he was an amazing, phenomenal Joel, he looked nothing like the Troy Baker Joel.
He looked enough like him, but he also brought enough intensity to it, which I said, I don't have enough in it. I didn't finish the season. I didn't finish season 1, so I don't have. But I know Pedro Pascal, and I know he can bring that intensity when he needs to.
Intensity and everything. But I mean, if we're going on comparison of what people should look like, then people should have more of a complaint on like the actor they chose for Tommy, and the fact that
people do. I've seen it. People have complained about Tommy too, which
I
don't know about that one.
I want to preface. I want to just go out and say this: the actor they chose for Tommy is phenomenal. Tommy is one of my favorite characters of the show, and I'm like excited to see him in the coming episodes because I think they did a really great job casting him.
Is it true when Joel dies that Tommy in the show does kind of puss out a little bit though?
No, not at all.
He doesn't?
Not at all.
Is it from the newer episode though? Or is it from like the get-go? He's like, all right, Ellie, stay here and be safe, and then fucking dips.
It is a gross misinterpretation of that scene.
Okay.
Because I can see where that viewpoint is coming from, but it is out of context in the way of what you're saying it. Okay. Because yes, he does try to encourage Ellie to stay and not seek out the revenge, but it's not on the part of not seeking out revenge because he wants revenge.
Right, and that's how they do in the game too.
So in the difference between the game and the movie is game and the TV show is the TV show Jacksonville gets hit, unlike the game. In the game, it was just the ski lounge that the infected got to. The infected breached the walls of Jacksonville in the show.
Oh, yeah, it was badass.
Interesting.
So and this is why I'm gonna say Tommy doesn't puss out. And honestly, season 2 Tommy is going to be one of your favorite characters when you watch it because of the scene where the infected breached the town. Like Tommy is a bona fide badass, like right up there with Joel.
And it makes sense too.
Yeah. And that's one thing I love about the show that I will like again flex the point of the whole point of this is they're following the game, but they add in extra narrative pieces that they couldn't that enhance character development because they dive into Tommy a little bit more into the TV show. So like, you know how after Joel dies in the game, it just immediately cuts to Ellie and them leaving to go seek revenge and you don't get to see kind of the ramification. The TV series puts a whole entire episode into literally the characters dealing with Joel's death right after it happens.
Huh.
And it is like an entire episode that's just focused on the grieving of Tommy the grieving of Ellie, Dina, and anybody that was close to him.
All right, I'm going to say it. Fuck the hate. Anybody online, if you're fucking hating the show, just watch it for your fucking self. Watch the show. You got me, Tim. You sold me. I'm gonna give it a solid try.
I do want to touch preface on one of the things you said with the characters not matching, because as you're saying this wasn't even something I was gonna touch base on. Have you guys seen Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City?
No. You know, it's funny, my grandma was watching that the other day.
Have you guys seen the OG Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich?
Mm-hmm. So, man.
The OG Resident Evil movies did not follow the games whatsoever. Not even a single thread point. Outside of Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse. Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse followed the third game, kinda.
The second movie followed
the games
more.
Yeah.
They definitely followed the
Nemesis.
Ridiculousness of some of the stuff they do in the games in the movie, especially after 4 on. Like the fucking crazy action and whatnot. But I think it's because the movies didn't follow because they had a totally different story. The first movie, it was like they did a totally different story and they introduced this new character.
Alice.
Yeah, Alice.
They introduce Alice and it doesn't follow any of the plot points from the games. It takes place in an Umbrella lab, so they use themes and stuff that was from the games, like the Corporation Umbrella, making bioweapons as zombies. They used iconic creatures like the Cerberuses, which are the not Rottweilers, but what's the name of the dog? Dobermans. The infected Dobermans. Zombies and stuff like that. They used one of the iconic scenes from the older games, the laser rooms, as a part of it, but none of the characters that showed up in the movie was from the games.
Yeah, Wesker was in it. I think that he was the only one. Was Wesker?
Nope, Wesker does not.
I thought Wesker was in the first one.
Wesker does not show up in the first movie. He is name dropped in a deleted scene. The only reference to the games that was made in the original movie is at the very end. If you pause the screen, there is a newspaper that flashes by. And on the newspaper, it says, Raccoon City Police Officers Leon S. Kennedy and Jill Valentine killed in mysterious accident. Or something along the lines of that.
Huh.
And then the second movie brought in Jill Valentine.
Right, yeah, which is weird.
Who was presumed murdered.
Hey, we're talking about early 2000s movies. They were wacky, and everybody was coming down from the coke.
But those movies didn't adapt the story of the games. They brought in characters from the games, but they didn't adapt any of the game storylines effectively, following it to a T. Welcome to Raccoon City bridges 1, 2, and 2. 1, 2, and I would assume, I guess, kind of 3, but Nemesis wasn't in it. They opted out of Nemesis and I had, I think, a Tyrant and Lisa Trevor from it. And they like dropped a bunch of Easter eggs to other games. And then there was the Netflix Resident Evil TV series, which was canon to the video games, but they racially swapped Wesker with Lance Reddick, which I will say, as one of his final performances, I fucking loved his Wesker. He was extremely intimidating and brought that. He embodied what Wesker was in the games so perfectly, which I love the guy that played Wesker in the Paul S. Anderson movies. He looked the part, super cool. And when they recreated the entire fight scene from Resident Evil 5, amazing. But I don't know. How do you feel when they have a set media and they racially swap characters? Because they took Jill Valentine, which the actress that played her in Welcome to Raccoon City did a good job, but her character is supposed to be semi-Chinese American, and in the movie she was African American. In the TV show, even though Lance Reddick was amazing as Wesker, they took a Caucasian character and made him African American. Do you think when you are telling or retelling story elements, do you think it's a issue when they essentially change ethnicities to a character that people either A, relate with or correlate with in some aspect?
I think it's not super black and white, but sometimes it can be. Not to be making a pun or anything. It's like okay, the Harry Potter show, Snape being black is very, very on the fucking nose. But then again,
What do you mean
also
by on the nose?
like
Because I
Adam Driver said he would play fucking Snape, and he would have been goddamn perfect for the fucking role. He looks exactly like Snake. He has the fucking voice. He would have been perfect. So it just does, and he's always been described as pale, oily black hair and very, very droll sounding. So it's like sometimes it can be on the nose, but like if the character if they can play the character very well, which we don't know about Harry Potter yet, we don't know about that Snape yet. I don't know if he can match Alan Rickman's. I don't think he can match Alan Rickman yet.
That's what I'm looking for, is how well that they do their part in the movie. It doesn't
then again, nobody asked for a Harry Potter TV show.
No,
yeah,
again,
I don't understand it.
But also to play devil's advocate, which I've heard this argument, you can get a lot more out of a TV show than from a 7-movie series. If they do multiple seasons, if they do 7 seasons, they can get a lot more out of that, describing what happens in the books that were missed in the movies.
Yeah, because that could be an hour per episode per season, literally just detailing the events of the entire book.
But also that's the same thing, like I said, you're playing with people's nostalgia. People I've grown up with the fucking movies. I've grown up with the books. So it's like when they say that they're going to come out with a TV show, I'm just like, how are they?
I was excited.
How are they going to make this bad?
I was excited when I heard about the TV series, especially since it's coming to HBO Max. So it's like I will definitely watch it day one when it drops. To rein it more in towards my question and the theme of the podcast, with the Resident Evil TV series, I was excited for it because I did think Resident Evil should have been told episodically. I know we touched base on that in a Drinking Corner episode where we were pitching video game adaptations because Resident Evil was my example. But it's like when you take a character, and it had nothing to do against like Lance Reddick, again, phenomenal actor. So sad he passed away.
Oh yeah,
because he did the character justice. He was phenomenal.
That is important. That is
very important. When you see him as Wesker, especially when they do a like time jump to the video game, where in the video game, because where they messed up, where I think the TV series messed up was they came out and officially stated the events of Resident Evil 5 were canon to this show. They happen. The video games are canon to the TV series. But then you're not going to have the characters from the video games that are appearing in your TV series be reflective of the characters that we know of from the series. Which, yes, they do a time jump where it shows like the OG Wesker and it's Lance Reddick, but he looks like Blade. Like, he absolutely looked like Blade in the episode because that's all me and Nicole were able to kind of compare it to. But again, he brought the personality and everything because in the TV show, it takes place after the events of the game. Lance Reddick's Wesker is a clone of the OG Wesker, but they didn't make the OG Wesker Caucasian or with blonde hair. So he's just straight up looked like Blade with the sunglasses, red eyes, and all. Like, Google it. Google an image of it.
That's usually the only problem I have when they race swap characters is when they have to explain that this is the character. Like, usually if I see a character, or if I'm, okay, they're remaking this thing, I'm expecting to see copy and paste as close as they possibly can to what I have always known. So when they do that, he's bald. He's bald. He's African. So I'm expecting a blonde white male, and then I see him. I'm like,
the
okay,
game's
who's this character? Who the hell is this? Until they go, that's Wesker, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's just a very big shock.
No, the TV series out the gate is like, this is Wesker, because the TV show is about Wesker's daughters, which in the games Wesker has a son, Jake.
And that's my only argument though, is that I feel like they shouldn't have to do that. If they, I don't know that, and I've been called racist for it before. I had a coworker, I had a whole argument before with him. It was especially about the state thing. He called me racist over it, and I'm like, it's not about me being racist. It's about me being able to recognize the original source material and what I've always known.
By no means the guy who is playing Snape in the Harry Potter series, I don't think he'll do a bad job.
No, I don't think he will do a bad job.
But there's also just the association.
Exactly.
Which I'm not saying like racial swaps of characters are ever a bad thing, because again, Lance Reddick as Wesker was phenomenal. Like, for that TV show, that scene where his daughter's in trouble in the schools, like they're in the office with the principal, and the girl that was bullying his daughter, the dad's like pushing to get Wesker's kid expelled, and Wesker like looks at the father and he goes, "Don't you work for Umbrella?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, what does that matter?" He's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Albert Wesker. I am the owner of this company, and I will ruin you." And he's like systematically breaking down how he is gonna ruin this man's life because his daughter's bullying his daughter. And it brought a level of like, he embodied the Wesker we know from the games, that like cynical, maniacal, I hate all of humanity, in that speech to this dude, but brought an extra layer of depth to what he is as a father, because we don't get to see him have that embodiment for any of his kids, because Wesker dies before, I believe, Jake was born, or just didn't know about it. I can't remember the details. But it's like, it brought a level to that character that was phenomenal, while sticking true to the characteristics and the personality of the source material. So despite the fact that appearance-wise he didn't look like Wesker, which after watching the show wasn't a bad thing, it was still, it's just one of those gleaming issues where I kind of wanted to know, because Welcome to Raccoon City, they racially swap a few characters, but the portrayal of some of those characters wasn't bad. So it's like, the guy that played Leon, I don't think he made a bad Leon. I didn't like the character choice for the personality they went with Leon, because I didn't like how they kind of butchered one of the main staple characters. And then Jill being black wasn't bad either, because the actress that played her did phenomenally. But it's when you're going to go see something that has an established look. Like, I'm trying to think of what a good example would be.
Because we can't really also say 100% copy and paste.
It would be like for a live action Gears of War, if they made Coltrane any other ethnicity.
Let's make Coltrane be The Rock.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, The Rock has that charisma and he has that like magnetic energy that Coltrane has in the
game. I'm The Rock. Yeah, you smell what Coltrane is cooking? Like, nah, dude.
But it would be one of those things where if they came out and they're like Dave Bautista as Marcus Phoenix, Ron Perlman as Hoffman, whoever is Baird, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson is Coltrane. There's gonna be a disconnect as a fan.
Yeah, I think that's also just with how much The Rock is in everything now, and he doesn't have very much of a diverse acting.
Well, I'm not trying to say The Rock should play Coltrane. It's an
example.
I know you're
not. I know you're not. Well, I'm the one that brought up The Rock. I would say, like, you have to. That's the thing, is you have to find someone that fits the character and also looks the part at the same time. I feel like if they're gonna have anybody play Coltrane, they just have what's his name?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, they have Terry Crews would be a perfect Coltrane, dude.
If I'm not mistaken, sorry, I'm like losing my voice over here. If I'm not mistaken, when Batista came out saying he wanted to play Marcus, I believe Terry Crews came out and said he would like the role of Coltrane.
Because guess what? Terry Crews looks the part, he sounds the part, he fits the part perfectly. It's not about, he's the perfect fucking spot.
With us being on the tangent of movies, like heavily for game media, I want to shift gears to what my point was, because we started with Chris, even though I feel like we both dominated his topic.
I feel like such a fucking third wheel right now, dude.
Welcome to the party, brother.
Welcome to the podcast where competition is heavy.
I just don't really. I mean, I don't play or watch Resident Evil. It's like I had nothing to fucking add on to that.
So what do you like?
Do you have other stuff before I just deep dive into shit over here?
He mentioned Gears of War. It's gonna go down hard. You got two big Gears of War fans here.
You don't understand the fact that I put in prep work. I Batman this podcast. You see what my hands are like invisibly slapping down on over here?
He was ready to win this one.
I'm ready to win this one.
Right, we get it, Tim. You got a big hanging horse meat ding dong down there, all right? Let's fucking... Yeah.
You didn't stand a chance.
No.
I have water dripping out of my nose right
now. So what kind of games do you like playing, Chris, usually?
Playing, since I met Tim, he's gotten me on to a lot more of a variety of games, which is really cool. But I'm pretty standard with the games that I play. I play like UFC 5 a lot. I play Madden. I'll play GTA Online here and there.
All right, UFC, I'd say they have the movie Warriors. Madden, they have Invincible.
It's not based on
The Blind Side.
Madden is not based on the fucking
The Blind Side. They have We Are Titans.
I feel like this is starting to get stacked against me.
Well, I mean, it's not. But Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James is one of my favorite movies. So
yeah, there you go.
Let's talk about good shape for that.
He did get in really good shape for that.
Dude, Kevin James is a legit fucking. He trains and shit.
Have you heard that dude? Talk about his routine. Like the man will straight up fast for like 40 days straight.
Yeah, he was talking about that with Joe Rogan, and he was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "I'd fucking fast for this long," and he's like, "I would drink water with like a little bit of like electrolytes and salt, for flavor and stuff." I'm like, dude, that's fucking so gnarly.
Yeah, when he gets determined about something, he gets in there.
I would be the worst type of person alive if I was just fasting for 40 days. I don't eat for like 12 hours and I'm cranky.
I tried doing intermittent fasting for about 3 months, and like the first week of me because intermittent fasting, you only eat within a certain period. So I wouldn't eat wouldn't eat until about 11 o'clock, and then I would stop eating at 7 o'clock. So before it would hit 11 o'clock, I'd be at work like.
Looking like he's getting that Glock 5000.
But fasting, it takes a lot, and you have to have the willpower to do it. It's not an easy stroll in the park, man.
No, dude, you got to be determined about it. And that man, he gets determined about something, because he went from like, what was the movie before he did Here Comes the Boom? He did what, Paul Blart, or he did The Zookeeper?
I think he did The Zookeeper before Here Comes the Boom.
And he was still heavy before he did Here Comes the Boom, and he got fucking shredded before that. He lost a lot of weight and built some muscle before he did that movie.
Yeah, that fucking stomach could break some fucking hands, dog.
He got the body build of a fucking wrestler for sure.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. I mean, he's no fucking Kevin James, UFC. Oh shit, UFC 319. fucking against Francis Ngannou, but he's good, you know.
I know Kevin James would definitely fucking fold me. I know
that. His walkout song would be "If You Like Pina Coladas."
Oh some Adam Sandler song.
No. He's just walking out to Toll Booth Willie.
Slappy Joe, slappy Joe, yeah. He's like skip walking as he's like slappy Joe, slappy Joe.
I'm sitting there shaking my boots. you didn't tell me it was Kevin James.
Brian Wayne a full 125 soaking wet.
Shit, most people would be like, yo, it's fucking Kevin James, bro. It's such an easy fight. And then they wake up in the fucking ER and they're like, oh, did I get the touchdown?
It looks like that scene with Robert Pattinson's Batman where he's like, what are you? Justice. And he like beats the dude's head in.
Douche.
No, boo. I guess they just announced Robert Pattinson as the official DCU Batman for the Worlds of Tomorrow or whatever.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
I would like to see him do more as Batman.
It was a long ass movie. But... I'll tell you though, it was a long fucking movie. 3 hours long.
I saw it in theaters twice.
Damn.
In a row.
6 hours of your time.
Tim drank a fucking large cup and then pissed in it and then sat there for the next showing.
No, me and John went and saw it in the Red Bluff Theater, and we're disappointed because of how the theater is. And this will be an example on why I prefer the Reading Theater, Chris. We went and saw the movie the first time, Red Bluff Theater. We loved the movie, but we were just sitting there and we felt like something was off when we were watching it. Because there was moments and scenes where it just didn't feel like it had that grip. Like when you're watching a movie and the scenes just didn't feel right. To where when we went and saw the movie in the like recliner chairs and everything else, you could feel like the scene where Robert Pattinson first shows off the Batmobile. When that engine starts, even before the lights came on, you felt the reverberations of the fucking Batmobile through the theater.
Yeah.
In the Reading one. You felt that. I felt my skin get like goosebumps from scenes with Robert Pattinson's Batman that I didn't get when I watched the movie the first time in the Red Bluff Theater. I was getting the experience I should have got the first time watching it, the second time in a better theater.
You know, one thing I will say, how it was so fucking loud, dude. And it wasn't even like good, like surrounds. It was just like someone was screaming in my ear, fucking Thunderbolts! I'm like, whoa, dude, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, no. If we would have watched, I guarantee, like, I would be willing to bet money on this, that if we turn around and, like, let's say the next time you had a day off, we went and saw that movie in the Reading Theater, you would have had a better experience watching that movie.
Yeah, I probably would have fell asleep.
Don't recline your chair.
So comfortable, man.
Don't recline the chair all the way back. Or let's get the 4D fucking chairs. So that way when the like ground rumbles, the chair's fucking throwing you around and blowing air in your face and spritzing you with water and getting...
I'm like, oh god, it smells like cat piss.
Why does it smell like Russian ass? What the fuck?
But
all right. Before we run out of time.
I haven't even gotten a chance to bring up my point of topic. We asked Chris one question.
We talked about you went on a tangent about The Last of Us and Resident Evil.
Okay, can I touch my basis just real quick,
right,
and
go for it.
I'll touch your basis, all right.
Touch
baby,
your basis.
Please.
We'll all touch your basis together.
So example.
Daddy.
I think my favorite media of games outside of the game itself is books. I think books are the perfect bridge medium for games. I love adaptations on the big screen or an episodic, but for instance, like what keeps glitching out from the green screen, Resident Evil 0 Hour, is the game. Resident Evil 0 retold in book, but it fills in more lore points and goes into more character backstory and fills you in a little bit more. So I like shit that does. I like that there's books that do that, like with, for instance, Resident Evil 0 Hour. This big old fucking, if I could get the green screen to, this thick comic book. This is a comic book of, will it show? It's partially showed Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, hey.
Or even for you, the Gears of War omnibus.
Yeah.
Which these are the comic books that take place in between the games that bridges the gaps between the time jump. Or like we have the Halo novels.
Crypto.
The Gears of War novels.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Battlefields.
That it just details points that get mentioned in the games, but are never explored upon. And exactly. I think the books are the perfect medium for that, because not only one, reading books, it expands your mental paralysis. It helps you, like, mentally. But there's so much you could fit into a book that you can't do in the time crunch of a game or a movie.
And especially, like, I'll talk about the Dragon Age books, because I've read 3 of them so far, and there's so much, because the Dragon Age books don't touch anything that's in the games at all, but they're totally different stories. But they
bring in characters from the games, because like the first book mentions Logan or Logan, whoever.
So the first book of Dragon Age talks about Merrick, who is the king of the king that's in the first game, and basically him becoming king and his adventure of how he became king and how he basically grew a backbone because he was kind of a pussy at the beginning of the book, and then him meeting Logain and his experience with Rowan and why Logain kind of resented Merrick and all that. It explained why Logain went the way he did in the first game. So it's stuff like that.
Which is one of those things that I was touching base on with Chris, because Chris and I are going through Gears of War. And it's like, as we're playing Gears of War, like with Gears Tactics, I was talking to Chris about the events that happened beforehand. Because, like, Chris, you expressed that you didn't have the interest in wanting to read the comics or the books, stuff like that, time, everything. It's a lot to ask of to put in for a simple Let's Play, especially for something that you have no experience in. But having played the games, because I beat the original trilogy before I ever touched one of the books or comics. And going back through the games where you play as Marcus and having the knowledge of his character development from the books, the games have a new level of depth playing back through them. Like with what Brian said, I've never read the Dragon Age books, even though Dragon Age is one of my all-time favorite game series. I'm going to be finishing Veilguard, reading the books, and then playing the games in the order of release to kind of get that extra world building narrative, to get more out of the game, to see if it enhances another playthrough. Knowing more about who the presumed villain is in the first Dragon Age. Because in the first Dragon Age, Logain is essentially the villain, but he is a person you could recruit to your fight. And coming from the perspective of knowing nothing about Logain other than he is a traitor, I've always killed him. Every playthrough I've ever done, I've always killed him because I had no sympathy for his character.
Even knowing what he went through, I still killed him.
But I'm just saying, from the narrative standpoint, and being able to know more and have a more emotionally fueled choice.
Because even then, like, it makes things more impactful, because reading the second book, The Calling, then it makes what happens in the first game with Duncan even more impactful, because the second book is all about Duncan. And it's like,
which I never got why Alistair was such a simp for Duncan.
He's such a fucking badass, dude. He is such a badass. So after reading the second book and playing the first game, you're just like, oh, they could have done so much more with him. He's so cool. But it just shows what kind of threat you're dealing with in the first game. So it's stuff like that where it's like, you know, you don't get that side of things most of the time when you just play the game, and then you get that extra media from the books, the movies, the TV shows, the comic books. You get so much more because you get all that extra lore of the characters. You understand them more. You understand their background. You understand what they're feeling most of the time, because the books do so well of explaining what's going on in their head, what they're thinking most of the time. You know, because you finished Astral Fields, right?
I am in the final stretch of the book. My new job doesn't really allow me time to read like Roundtable did, where I could take 30 minutes.
Oh, so you're in the thick of it right now.
I have literally this much. Where I'm at in the book right now is, spoiler alert, Carlos Santiago just separated from Marcus to go cover the bridge.
You are literally in the thick of it, brother.
I know. I already know what happens to Carlos too, and it's one of the reasons why I put down the book, is because I absolutely started adoring Carlos's character. I liked his character.
You literally stopped before the thick of the book. So it's stuff like that. Like, you get attached to characters that aren't originally in games, that are from lore of other characters, and then you see what happens to see the development, stuff that might be in the background of someone's mind in the game that you're not. Because I read that book, and then me and my wife played through the Gears of War games again, and I'm just like, dude, Dom might be thinking about that shit in the entire time, because that book parts of it takes place between the first and second game, and it's all about Marcus trying to figure out how to tell Dom what happened, you know? And it's like,
yeah, because in between the events of 1 and 2, with the book, like, where it's doing the time jumps between present and the past, like, Dom wants to know what happened to Carlos. It's been years, and he has no idea how his brother dies. And it's like a secret that everybody's keeping from him. Quite literally, his best friend that he considers a brother is not telling him how his biological brother died.
Yeah,
it is so. Oh, I know how he dies. I know how he dies. I don't want to
exactly what happens though.
I know it's semi-heroic sacrifice, I believe.
I'll leave it at that.
But it's like, so for instance, me and Chris are right now with Gears of War. We're in Gears Tactics. So I haven't really had to do the retrospective, which before me and Chris jump into Gears Reloaded, I am gonna kind of do like hey, this is what happens leading to this point. You don't have to read the comics or books. These are the main focal points. So this is why this is gonna happen with no explanation. This is why the game starts off with you in prison. And they expect you to know why you're in prison.
Even though the books came after the game did.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, honestly. I like that. I like it when things keep an open ending like that, because then it leaves them room to be able to play with things.
So, now that I mentioned books, one final faucet I want to touch is the animated TV series, for just 2 things, because I haven't seen either show yet. So if you haven't seen them either, then we'll just drop it. But there is a cyberpunk tie-in animated show. I think it was called Blade Runners or something.
I get a point here. I get a point myself.
So you've seen it?
Oh, don't get me started on Edge Runners, dude.
So I haven't seen it. The second I get Netflix back, I'm going to watch it.
I will give you my Netflix so you can watch Edge Runners.
If you give me Netflix, I will give you HBO.
Believe me, dude.
Then the brand new Devil May Cry.
I haven't watched Devil May Cry. Okay, so I've recently been, because before we did this podcast, when I told you I was playing with somebody, there's a coworker or a buddy of mine that is a huge DMC fan, and he game shared with me on PlayStation so I could play it on PlayStation and stream it so he could watch it. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I have been recently getting into DMC, and I want to watch the anime so bad, but I have heard that there's some things that they have changed that fans don't like.
They modernize it a little bit because the games are a little outdated with certain things.
Except for the game didn't come out. The 5th game didn't come out that long ago. But
so I don't believe the TV series takes place after the 5th game because it's a younger Dante.
It's basically a rewriting, is what I've heard of. Is a rewriting of the story and the character. I just started the 3rd one. I played the 1st one. Was told to skip the 2nd one. And they always tell me never play the 2nd game. And then I jumped to the 3rd one. But from what I've seen of the 3rd game so far, if the anime doesn't match the characterization of the 3rd character or the game, then it might be a little rough. But I've heard the animation and the action sequences are really cool, and the music is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so it's definitely worth a watch
Limp
for sure.
Bizkit and Evanescence for the soundtrack of.
I'm gonna have to send you my edit of the intro, but sorry. Back to Edge Runners. God damn, I've never watched an animated TV show other than BoJack Horseman that has made me fucking cry, dude.
Oh, dude, BoJack Horseman had made me bawl like a little bitch.
BoJack Horseman made me cry, and then
BoJack Horseman made me go back to therapy.
Then fucking
I went for that. Those final 2 episodes of BoJack Horseman, I had a therapy. God.
Don't make me.
Because it made me feel so fucking like my life was in crisis.
Yeah,
because I just related so heavily with the character.
BoJack
I don't even know if
Chris a rough watch
or I have not seen Chris's screen light up once.
Hey Chris,
I don't. You know,
welcome to a typical Brian and Tim conversation. This is usually how we talk.
I cried when Brian died in Family Guy. I mean, like,
I got hit by a car playing hockey.
I didn't cry, but I gasped. I remember that episode because I was not expecting it, and it wasn't before like everything was on TikTok and shit like that beforehand. I didn't know. And when I saw that episode, I was like, and then when the time machine was destroyed and there's no like reversing it and Brian was legitimately dead, I was like, oh fuck. And it took me like a good long minute to get used to Vinny.
Yeah.
And then when we start to like Vinny, you know, they correct the error and bring Brian back, which is funny.
Like after a couple episodes. Yeah.
They brought him back in a different season.
Did they really?
Yeah. He was gone for like the rest of that season and a part of the next one.
I think that was the season I stopped watching Family Guy. Because I think it's not the same episode or the same season that they had the bank episode.
No, the bank episode happens after Brian's death, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a longer episode, huh? That was like an hour longer.
That was a love-hate episode that people either loved or hated, which my sister explained it to me because I was watching it just like, what the fuck is happening this episode? Because it's so weird. It's different from any Family Guy episode.
I love when, even in movies or other TV shows, where they do a one-shot kind of thing. Because in all good sense, that episode is a one-shot episode. It takes place in one setting, in one area, 2 characters. It's all character development.
And then they just kind of like throw all that character development right the fuck away.
Yeah, right out the window.
In the very next episode.
The best show I've ever seen do that is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Sorry, you made my ADHD.
I just started that show.
When you get to, I think, what season is it? There's a season where it's called Health Inspector or something like that. They do a one-shot episode live action where they do everything in one go, and oh my god, it's fucking perfect. Like Charlie Day, Glenn Howardson, and Robert. I forgot their name. The main 3 of It's Always Sunny are fucking geniuses because the way they pull off. Anyway, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. No, I'll say probably the best media I've ever seen animation wise of anything would have been that show.
I also really love the fact that after the show came out, they updated Cyberpunk to put in like a memorial for the characters of the show. I've never seen it. I just know that it ends extremely depressingly.
So the Easter egg that they put in the game is that you can go into David Martinez's apartment, which is almost copy and paste of V's apartment. But there's references to the show in it, and I think a different part, like a completely unrelated part, you can run into Lucy.
There's also the girl from the show. There's also a memorial site. Where
because the show takes place before the games.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my boy David Martinez, the GOAT, the man that can resist cyberpsychosis. Oh my god. I'm telling everybody,
I'm gonna watch the TV show and then jump back into the games because I never beat the game. I was heavily into it, and then I let John borrow it, and then never got it back.
So after we're done with this, Tim, you give me your HBO Max, and I'll give you my Netflix. Whenever I can get it. It'll probably be tomorrow because I got to get the username and password from my wife because she has it. But
awesome.
I'll get it to you, and I'll watch Last of Us, and you watch Cyberpunk. Okay, that's my stipulation.
Dealio.
All right. But it is getting quite past the time. We've done like almost a 2-hour episode. God dang.
No way we've been going for 2 hours, have we?
We started almost a little after 1, right?
It's not even 1 o'clock here, so I don't know.
It is 2:44 my time.
It is 12:44 our time. I think we started at like 11:30-ish our time.
Okay, so we've been going about a little over an hour. Okay.
I would say a little over an hour because it has not felt like going on for 2 hours because I still have a whole ass water bottle left and everything, and I've been drinking it very consistently.
I've drank about a half a bottle of Fireball, so
that's
not an hour, right?
Any final thoughts on these? Any last minute points, Chris? You want to try to wiggle in there?
What's your media take?
After this podcast, I can give you guys my jerkmate info. So I feel like
okay.
I'm giving you guys
what's your ranking right now? Are you a Golden Gooner yet?
Am I? Oh, there's rankings, bro.
Yeah, what's your jerkmate ranking right now?
Oh shit. Chris.
Platinum puller. Are you a grand masturbator?
What the fuck, man?
We need to start a porn site that's like clean porn, but you have tears.
Mine would be get a job. I don't know.
Have you guys not heard about that? Jerkmate actually has ranked Jerkmate now.
That's wild.
Have you guys not heard about that?
I don't keep up on Jerkmate like I used to.
The shit I was saying was real. It's like a silver. Fuck. Hold on. Let me look.
Shit, man. I think this is something that I don't mind you.
I've never been on Jerkmate, so I have no idea about.
No, it was a meme for a while. Let me look it up. I don't want to actually go on Jerkmate.
Fuck, I want to go to church tomorrow.
Your wife's gonna.
I do not want to go on Jerkmate. All right, Jerkmate, know your meme. It's gonna be on here, right?
Gotta call my pastor.
I'm gonna call John.
Be like, John, I'm gonna go to church with you on Sunday.
It's really trying to get me on Jerkmate. I do not want to go on Jerkmate. Please.
I've thought about it. I know John really wants me and you to go to church with him.
Oh my god, I thought you were talking about Jerkmate for a second. You're like, I really want to.
We got a pro trio right now. No, this is not what I want. Only news.
Listen,
I got you, bro.
We're gonna add a whole new definition to circle jerk right now.
I'm on an OnlyFans news site right now. Oh god.
OnlyFans says news.
It's called Only News.
Have you ever heard of Jerkmate? It's this fun, new, exciting app.
What is IGDB? That's not a thing. Let's check that out.
All sound like more and more increasingly questionable.
Oh God, no! Let's get me out of here, please.
I mean, Jerkmate was a pretty fun game. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, I think that the story, and the character development of each person, the main character is obviously going to be the most.
And man, when they made that web series adaptation of the game, it just was phenomenal.
Dude, okay, I legit fucking cried.
I got the rankings. It's called Bronze Beater, Silver Stroker, Gold Gooner, Platinum Pleasurers. That one's kind of lame.
What does goon mean? I hear that like goon.
Diamond Dabblers.
The fuck?
Wondrous Wanker.
I don't know what.
Fabulous Fonder.
Dude, is this like the new Avengers lineup or what?
What the fuck is this?
It's like the porn version of the Avengers.
This ain't right. That's not the one I've seen. Fucking YouTube. Get out of here.
Fucking YouTube.
Nah, dude. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go to church this Sunday, and I gotta apologize. I'm gonna do an unspoken prayer on my soul.
You're gonna get like 16 Hail Marys.
Shit, that pastor, he probably got the fucking platinum. You feel what I'm saying?
No.
So,
please.
To tie it in a bow, because I'm genuinely curious, what is your guys' favorite medium for it? Because I didn't even touch base on the music. Like, I own straight CDs, and I'm getting vinyls for Atlas games. So the Persona, Catherine, and stuff. Like, I have the Catherine and the Persona 5 CD soundtrack, which is just like the ambient music for it. But I know Atlas West just came out with 4 vinyl records for Persona 3, 4, 5, and then I want to say for Catherine as well. So there's like a bunch of media based out of it.
I'd probably say what I have the most music out of would be from The Witcher. That's on my Spotify liked mix. The Witcher and Cyberpunk are the 2.
I would say Doom. I legitimately have the Doom 2016 soundtrack. Because when I'll play like Call of Duty or first person shooters or even Fortnite, and it's like I'm not streaming or recording and I'm playing music just off my computer chilling, I'll play the Doom soundtrack to it because it legitimately, like, one of the things I love about Doom is it pumps you up with its soundtrack and you just start ripping and tearing through enemies.
Probably my most played song on my Spotify is Silver for Monsters, but it's a Witcher 3 soundtrack song because I'll play that every single time I go to play D&D. That's what gets me in the mood for D&D.
That's honestly like fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been smacking on that fucking Star-Lord, dude, from fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh. I've been smacking that shit.
You're doing what to Star-Lord?
You have the tie-in book, don't you? Like, you're borrowing my tie-in book for it?
Yeah, it's like one of the only books that I'll read here and there.
Such a good book to go in with the game.
Yeah, because it's a prequel, huh? Like,
yeah, it takes place literally the day before the game starts.
Yeah, but I haven't played much of the game.
Galaxy game?
Yeah. So the Guardians of the Galaxy game came out with a tie-in novel called No Guts, No Glory. And the book has a time jump to, I think it's like 5 years before. But the present time of the book takes place the day before. Like, it ends with them getting the job that's in the introduction for the game. And if you want to be technical, all the Marvel games have a tie-in novel. Insomniac Spider-Man Miles Morales, Marvel's Avengers, they all have a tie-in novel that flesh out the beginning of the game just a little bit more.
Interesting.
That's why books are my favorite medium. I feel like we
interrupted you again. Are you still there, Chris?
Chris?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
We love you, Chris.
Sorry, Tim and I we
We stem off of each other because we can't see each other anymore. See, Chris, Brian is the perfect person to ask if I was an alcoholic back in the day.
Yeah. He smoked the ganja too.
Are you fucking serious? You piece of shit.
Get him out of here!
You bald-headed freak.
You guys live in California, and he fucking smoked ganja.
Dude, I don't do that shit. I don't drink or smoke, dude. That shit's for the fucking birds.
I know. I don't do anything anymore. I'm even celibate now.
Shit, I'm gonna go I need to go take a shot now.
I'm over here.
Brian's over here about to deep throat his bottle while his wife stands behind him in the doorway.
Don't say that shit. It's almost 3 o'clock. She'd be like, "Why are you still awake? We have children. Why are you still awake, Why are you still awake, child?"
Oh, for a second there, I thought Meat Cannon found his way in here.
Why are you still awake, child?
All right, Brian.
That was probably the best. As someone that's inspiring to be a voice actor, that is probably the best compliment you could ever give me. Because Meat Canyon is a great voice actor.
He is. I fucking love his episode.
Check out Creepcast on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm just kidding.
We're gonna plug everybody else in.
All right. So for points, we're doing points now.
Shit.
We got Tim for 5 and Chris for 3.
Hey, Chris, you got points on the board, though.
I know. Shit.
I gave you points for everything you mentioned, and Tim, you got 5. And some of them I had tangents on, so I didn't give you points.
So I get a victory speech? Yeah.
Wait, no, you got to do the wheel, bud.
The wheel? I
thought we were doing the wheel for every episode.
No, that was just for the starting episode.
Oh, all right. Well, Tim, you win then.
Why the fuck would I do a wheel? I get 5 points to Chris's 3. Hey, I put in all that fucking work.
Because we got to give me the chance to win again. All right, I'm giving myself 6 points. Hold on. Ryan, I spelled my name wrong.
I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of want to pinwheel this just for the fun of it.
Pinwheel it and put John in there just for no reason. Give him like 1.
Okay, I will. Hold on. Let me.
And we'll just surprise John. Be like, John, you won.
Let me find the app I use. Oh shit! They kept my last wheel up on the website. Hell yeah. Okay.
This
let me
for
look
funsies.
Here. Just for funsies, I'll do this. Let me just dive through everybody.
Man, I gotta piss.
Yeah. Okay. So we got me.
2 for 5.
Oh, and let me add Mr. Retro, even though he contributed nothing to this.
Except for his spirit.
Except for that dick.
Yeah, his floppy dick was in here the whole time.
Little do you guys know he's been here just fucking...
He's just been chilling out in your room the entire time, just crying.
Just cry. What the fuck?
He's like, they didn't even miss me.
They didn't
I wanted them to miss me and like really want me to be there, but they didn't even talk about me. They made fun of me the entire time.
All right, since John's not here, I'll embody his spirit.
Okay, so you said I get 5?
5.
1, or so that's 1.
Chris gets 3.
What?
Yeah, 3 is a pretty big number in my opinion.
You get 2 for criticizing my number count.
Okay, so you're right. So I have 1.
I don't know. I added everybody a number every time they mentioned something.
3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's me with 5. Chris gets 3. Brian, do you want me to give you 1 since you said you got a point for Edge Runner?
I figured you'd give me the fat one, the bankruptcy one.
Oh, okay, I'll give you the fat one.
Yay!
Ba 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 ba. Ba na 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 na.
Roll it, daddy, roll it. Roll it, daddy, roll it.
Give me a second. It's not letting me customize side. Why? Wait. There we go. I will give you a 15. So we all have an 8% chance. I gave you a 15.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And let me just shuffle these up really good.
I feel like I'm really confused on how this pinwheel shit works.
Let me just share screen now.
Is it like 8% per spot you have?
Okay, so you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So you see all these? So here on the side where it's 8%, that's how big our chunk of the pie is for the 100%. And then Brian has the giant chunk right here.
Oh, God. All right.
What happens if it lands on you?
I get to do it again.
Theoretically, if we were going by the rules of the first episode, Brian would win the podcast again.
Roll it, daddy. Roll it.
Fucking
it's
bullshit.
A boy.
Shit. What do I win?
The next episode.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
That just doesn't seem fair. It just doesn't. I contributed about as much.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't from lack of trying, you know. You know what, man? I was just chilling and enjoying you guys talking, man.
Honestly, if you want to, you can pass it on, or you double it and pass it to the next. Honestly.
Yeah, no, man, I can't take that shit from Tim. Boy was yapping up the fucking session, dog. So I can't really.
That's fair.
It would be poetic justice, though, to start that rivalry.
Now, I would do that if I was a cool guy, but I'm a piece of shit. So fuck you, Tim. It's my shit. No, I'm joking.
Well, do we want to have a communal thing and say the points is just how much we earn on that scale?
Let's say that. That seems fair to me.
Okay, we'll put it on a vote. Give me 1 second. We're gonna do some host tools. Nope. Where do I do this? I know there's a place to make a. God, I haven't used Zoom in a while.
I do have to possibly disappear soon.
No, not
it's 3 o'clock where I'm at. We're supposed to have another storm in the morning. Morning.
I'm sorry. All right, MMD file screenshot. Fuck you. Okay. I can't figure out how to do the poll right now. It wants to just open everything else. Breakout captions, meeting info. Yeah, whatever. I am going to take the victory for this episode, and we'll discuss if we want to bring that medium in there. So, winner speech. I fucking rule.
He knows his video games.
It's all about the prep work and having source materials. So that way you don't run out of things to talk about. Big thank you to Chris for participating and graciously losing, even though he won the spin wheel. And
why you double hand jacket off a ghost, brother?
I'm double head jacket off you, Brian. I will say we will both prep an episode and have one in the chamber, and we will decide whether or not how we want to move forward with this. Because I do kind of like the idea of putting in the work to have multiple slots for the pinwheel, but as Chris said, it would feel like I got gypped a win because I put in all that work.
I just want to be fair.
Fair. That is very fair.
So we'll talk more about it later. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast on any of your podcast streaming medias. Thank you guys so much for viewing the vidcast version of this on the Nerdgazmic Goodfellas YouTube channel. In the description for everything down below, you'll find links to our social medias, other YouTube channels, other Twitch channels, other podcasts. We do the R&R podcast. We had the Drinking Corner podcast, so there's a lot of outlets on which you could find content from us creators there. We look forward to seeing you guys in somebody's next week episode as we hammer down some interesting plot points. Toodaloo, everybody. Toodaloo.